Indie game world rejoice! The long-awaited Super Meat Boy hits Xbox Live Arcade this week! Yes! For those of you who don't know Super Meat Boy, here's the short version. Dang it. Dang it. Yes! Finally got it! Now for the long version. Super Meat Boy is the long-awaited sequel to the Flash game Meat Boy on Newgrounds, and is developed and created by Edward McMillien and Tommy Refenes over at Team Meat. This fleshy sequel took the developers a good long 2 years to make. This week, I'd save some room in your hard drives because after getting a chance to play it all the way through, let me tell you how this is 2 years very well spent. This game proudly paves new ground for more diverse characters in interactive entertainment. Finally, in a video game, we have a block hero made entirely of meat without skin going after his Band-Aid-made girlfriend. But the real game changer comes from its villain who, and I'm really not kidding here, is an evil baby fetus in a controllable glass jar dressed in a tuxedo, who is of course called Dr. Fetus. And you don't want to mess with this fetus, after all, he's a doctor. Team Meat definitely flexed their Newgrounds muscles and gave all the characters great personalities without using a single word of dialogue. The story isn't a huge factor in the game, but the cutscenes are pretty funny to watch, with clever winks to classic games like Castlevania, Pokemon, Ninja Gaiden, and even Street Fighter. Ouch! And hey, there are even a few cameos from a few indie games. This level look familiar? Cannibal to anyone? So the game is a platformer centered on jumping and sticking on walls, similar to the Mega Man X series. Every stage has the player dodging obstacles in order to get to the end of the stage where Dr. Fetus snatches your girlfriend away. I'm outdone every level by a fetus. The game is built on the player's skill, timing jumps, and avoiding obstacles involving memorization and concentration to squeeze through the levels. Something I really loved is how the game keeps the levels fresh by adding a new mechanic on the level's design. You won't constantly be dealing with all the buzzsaws in the game. The next level you'll have to deal with assault walls. Then next you'll have to avoid monsters coming at you. Then you'll have to work with portals, you have to work with missiles, force fields, and sometimes just gravity. It's rare to get the same challenge twice, and the levels never feel monotonous or repetitive all the way through. I guess you could say this is fresh meat. Oh. Now when it comes to how hard the game is, I want you to take a look at the total number of deaths I got before even beating the game. Look at this madness. Look at it! Trust me, this thing does not screw around. You're gonna die a lot and shout out quite a few expletives before you're through. It's not from bad controls or design or anything like that. Team Meat really spent time designing and balancing all the levels, and the control is perfect. It feels great to jump on the walls and avoid the traps. It's one of those cases where it's not the game's fault, but it's the player's fault. The challenge is on you. And when you do finally beat it after so many times, you really feel accomplished. Especially when it shows a really cool effect where it replays every single one of your runs to see your perfect run triumph over all that hard work you did. How's that for a reward? But if it gets too hard, you can always find the bandages throughout the game so you can unlock special characters. These characters have their own special skills, and yes, they all come from indie games, like Commander Video from the bit.trip series. Oh yeah, and his path is a rainbow. I'll talk about his games eventually. Now, even though I played the game on the Xbox, there'll soon be versions of the game on WiiWare, the PC, and even the Mac. All the versions will be available for $15, which is a pretty hefty price for a downloadable title. The last question is, does Super Meat Boy have enough to justify a $15 price tag? Well, here's the best part. There are 5 main chapters in the game, each with 20 separate levels. After speedrunning a level and getting an A+ rating, you can unlock the Dark World, which is a harder version of the level. So that's double the content right there. There are secret warp zones everywhere with retro-style levels. There's an end chapter with both light and dark world levels. And on top of all that, you got the internets. This is an unlockable map that offers brand new downloadable levels for free! All this combined and you get a staggering 300+ levels with more on the way. And like I said before, these levels won't be a breeze to get through. You're gonna have to play them over and over simply to beat them. I finally made it to the last level after 8 hours of gameplay. Content heavy is a complete understatement for Super Meat Boy. It could have gotten away with a $20 price tag, and I would still love it. The game really feels like Team Meat set out to make the end-all be-all sequel to Meat Boy. Terrific challenge, extensive content, great game secrets, fun story, great music. I could go on and on and on about how this is an incredible game. Super Meat Boy is one of the best games of the year. An addictive, fun platformer with all the charm of a killer baby fetus. You know what? I'm gonna go play some more. Gross.